Hi, mystery friends. It's Sarah here. It's been a while since I've been on. I'm sorry to kind of like ditch you guys after my haphazard attempt at vlogging. It has been in August. It has been crazy. So excuse me while I look around for my puppy, which, oh, she's right here. She's asleep. Okay. Anyway, so I thought I have some words to write. I still haven't finished the story I started with the vlog. I thought I could get on here and get some words down, maybe talk to some of you guys if you guys are available. I know it's kind of a weird time of day, but this is the time I'm available right now. And I'm gonna catch you up on writer stuff, kind of just life stuff happening as we do some super short, like 7-minute sprints, because I don't know if my brain can take much more than 7 minutes at a time writing. So let's just jump into writing. Let's see if I can get this screen share going. It just disappeared on me as soon as I had it up and ready. So let's see if I can get it going. Yeah, there we go. It's thinking. And I'm going to mute myself as we sprint. So get whatever work in progress you're working on. Yeah, you're work in progress. If you're planning, if you're doing blogging, whatever, just come hang out with me and do stuff, or just come out with me and chill. Take this 7 minutes, 42-second sprint as time to enjoy your coffee. Oh, time to put your feet up, time to catch up on whatever you want to catch up on. And I'll see you on the other side. Well, that sprint did not go as planned for me, as is normal for me. I started the sprint, I started the video, I got the timer going, and I forgot to pull up my document. And then when I went to pull up my document, it's actually still trying to pull it up. My computer is running super slow. I'm hoping it's not lagging too much on your end. It's lagging over here. pretty bad. So yeah, it's still, I've still got the swirly twirly gumdrop thing going on for my document. So I wasn't even able to write a single word. Excuse me. So you could totally, excuse me, you could totally beat me at that sprint. Zero words, 100% frustration. Right? Right. Okay. So let's get down to the story news. So I have continued to work on Twisted, which is book 7 of the Paranormal Penny series. The book I wanted to finish last month, but only got 42,000 words into, which met my Camp Nano goal, but did not complete the story. I am now 52,000 words into it, so 10,000 more words into it. And it's still not done. I am guessing there'll be another, but again, I guessed this last time. I'm guessing there'll be another 5,000 of the first draft. And then I am betting a few to 10,000 words will come out as I'm editing, which isn't normally what happens with me. I normally write too little and have to fill in. This time I think I've written too much and need to take out. However, as I'm writing, I realize there are plot holes. And for me, I can't stop picking on plot holes. So there are people I needed to set up for certain things and I forgot to, or I don't think my setup was strong enough to where there people will understand the link. So what I do while I'm drafting is I write a little note to myself, add, this scene somewhere, and I'll make a little editing note so that I know where I want it and what I'm supposed to add there. There are many of those for this book. It really bites because I have been looking forward to this book so much. Maybe I put too much pressure on myself, but I've been looking forward to this particular story for so long that it bites because I really want it to be perfect because I love it so much. This particular, I love all my stories, but this particular story in the life of Penny Nichols, I love it. And I just have been waiting so long to write this particular story. And it's taking forever in my mind. For this writer, it's taking forever. And that's the Bookish news. I still am shooting, obviously, well, not obviously, but I don't think I could have it out by November like I had anticipated. I had hoped to get it out in October, then push it back to November. Maybe I'll be able to squeeze a release into December. We'll see what happens. It depends on how long it takes me to finish the first draft, because that's the longest process for me, is the first draft process. So yeah, speaking of which, let's get that timer back up. And let's start sprinting another 7 minutes. As I stare blankly at the screen. Here it comes. Yay, it stopped buffering too, so that's wonderful. On to the writing. Let's go. Yay. That time I got some words down. But again, with the buffering, I don't know what's going on with my internet today. Yeah, I can already tell when I go back, I'm going to have more buffering. I think I was only able to get down like 60 words because I was still waiting for Google Docs to load up. I was this close to opening Word and just going for it, not even knowing where I was in the story, just start writing what I thought was supposed to come next without checking because I was getting so frustrated. Oh, technology. It's amazing if you know how to use it correctly, which I don't most of the time. Okay, so we've talked bookish news, and we're going to move on to some things I talked about during my crazy vlog experiment. Okay, and we talked about how I thought I might have ADHD or something, right? So you'd be proud of me. I actually did schedule that appointment. I went to my GP. I was talking to them. It did not go well. It was a horrible appointment. I left in tears. Not totally the doctor's fault, but it was not a good experience. I literally, yes, literally left the office in tears, sat in my car and cried for a while, and then uh, drove home, called my mom, on the speakerphone, and was just ranting about this appointment. It didn't go well. So again, not entirely the doctor's fault. I do see some of it as her responsibility, but maybe I'm just, weird that way. But it was awful. So I went to the doctor appointment and I had set up the appointment. First of all, they wouldn't let me set up appointment uh, just to see what's up. Like I was like, I'm having issues. I don't know. I'm having issues with forgetfulness and concentration. Went down a list, and I can't tell if it's like something, maybe I have ADHD, if it's high anxiety. I don't know what's going on. I'd really like to get checked out. So they set the appointment. The receptionist was really cool. She set the fastest one she could. I was super excited. I got a same day appointment, which does not happen with my insurance and doctor's appointments. Not normally. You have to be like, have a broken arm. So I went in to see the doctor, and this is something that happens to me. If I wasn't planning to have an appointment that day or of any kind, if I wasn't planning something that day and didn't have like the day before to prepare for it, my anxiety ticks up. Okay. Which is another reason I wanted to get checked out. That's another like symptom of I have no idea what. And it's starting to really affect my health. So all of these issues that I have, I never thought were issues. I just thought it's how everybody is, and this is how you do life. And in some ways, I think it is. And in other ways, it's affecting what even my normal is, to where I cannot seem to keep up with it. I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, so I went to the doctor, and I was already anxious because I hadn't planned to go that particular day. I thought it would take like a week or two. So I went in, and immediately my heart is like pounding out of my chest because I'm so nervous about this appointment. I go in and I get my blood pressure taken, and it's crazy high. I never have high blood pressure. It was crazy high, crazy scary, and I just started crying. Now, I do this sometimes, but I don't often do it in public like that for like no reason. I just started crying. I think it was the emotional release of finally setting this appointment for myself, of finally being in this room, getting help, knowing help should be coming. I was just really overcome, and I just started crying, which made me look like a lunatic. And this is not judging anybody else. It's only myself. It made me feel like I look like a crazy person. So it would make sense that the doctor wouldn't take me seriously. So we went into her room. I could hear them talking about me from outside the room, how I just have horrible blood pressure, how they retook it and I was able to breathe myself back down a little bit, but it was still really high, how they were worried that I was going to like pass out. Yes, I'm telling you, it was a horrible appointment. And so I just I'm sitting there, I can hear them talking about me outside. That doesn't do much for my confidence or my calmness. So I'm sitting on the table, breathing, trying really hard because I can feel my heart is already racing just talking about it. I can feel my heart racing. I can feel myself getting like dizzy from it, all this kind of stuff. Total panic, anxiety attack happening right there in the doctor's office, which is actually a pretty safe place to have it usually. Anyway, so the doctor comes in and she is very concerned because I'm crying. And I have stopped like the sobbing. It's just like the tears that I cannot stop. I cannot turn off. I cannot stop them. And I'm sitting there on the table and I'm trying my best to explain to her what's going on. And she is looking at me like I'm a loony. Now, again, I don't fully blame her because I am just crying and I'm not making much sense. And that's just making me more frustrated, which is making me now stop crying from relief and crying from frustration. It's horrible. So again, I'm not totally blaming her, but she didn't really have many other resources at her fingertips other than my blood pressure was going nuts. I'm sitting there blubbering in front of her. I can't seem to calm down. So she just starts scrolling through my back history. And I do have depression. We've talked about this before on this channel. You can go back and there's lots of videos about it. I do have depression. I have suffered from it for a long time. But I have it maintained. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm good. I'm really good. I'm not, I mean, in the past, it was not good. I needed supervision and help. And I have not needed that for a really, really, really long time. But because in my file, she can see that at this point in my life, I was on medication for depression, which was actually postpartum depression from my kiddo. She determined from that thing and the mess sitting in front of her. So let's not, that I don't have any other issues. I am just horribly depressed. Okay. Well, of course, that's not the answer I was hoping for. I didn't want that. That was actually my biggest fear of going to the doctor, is not being heard, not being listened to. And all of that came true, amplifying my anxiety, amplifying my worry, amplifying my sadness. So my heart rate just keeps going up. I can feel it. I'm trying to stop the blood pressure because, again, I've heard them talking about me, that they're afraid to let me leave because my blood pressure is so high. 5 minutes into our appointment, my doctor raises her hands and says, "You need a psychiatrist. Let me get you a referral." And she leaves. That's it. More happens. I'm not going to go into more details. It was not good. So I walked out of the room to go get the referral, crying. My blood pressure is still hugely high. They're still talking about me behind this table, which is fine. I don't mind her having a conference with her nurses and other doctors to see how to help me. That's fine. I'm good with that. But they're just still talking about how bad my blood pressure was, how I'm having an anxiety attack, and they send me away saying, "Come back for a physical." That's it. Bam. It was not good, not good. So since that time, I have reached out to psychiatrists. However, with the insurance that I have where I live, you have to, like, most of the psychiatrists on my insurance, you have to like set up online like applications with them to be seen and all that kind of stuff. I've heard nothing. This has been 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks. I've heard nothing from these people. So I have no idea how long it's going to take to be seen. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to go back to have a physical with this doctor that I now do not trust because, she sent me out of this office after telling her nurses that I shouldn't leave. She just sent me away, with a form to go get my blood work done. So I will go and do that. I will be responsible, go get my blood work done. I will probably go back to her and have a physical with her, even though I really don't want to. I am going to give her the benefit of the doubt for that day because that's just how I am. But I was a nervous wreck. I was crying. She was having a bad day. We're just going to call it as everybody's bad day. And I'm going to go in with my blood work and have a physical with her. If that does not go well, then I'll change my GP. But I'm going to give her one more chance mostly because changing my GP is a big pain in the rear end. And I don't want to have to go through that, especially while I'm searching for a psychiatrist that will not get back to me. So that's not good. That was not the results I was hoping for. It didn't even begin a conversation that I was hoping to have, because I wanted to lay out, my symptoms. I wanted to lay out my past, and I wanted to lay out what was going on and what my triggers were. And none of that took place. None of that took place. Instead, based off of a 16-year-old diagnosis, she doesn't even have the things from my youth where I was actually diagnosed with manic depression way back when. She doesn't have any of that on record. That was sealed. I was like 17 then. That's not even in her file. She was not my doctor. I was not going to that office at that time. She was basing it on a 16-year-old diagnosis that I told her that was postpartum depression. I was only on medication for 3 months. That's the only time I needed it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying she's basing what's going on in her office on a 16-year-old diagnosis without hearing anything else. That's what frustrated me. But again, I was a blubbering mass of nerves in front of her. So she didn't really have much to go on. Anyway, so I'm going to try her again. But that was the update on that. I did go to the doctor. I promised I would tell you. I did. And I will keep you kind of updated on what's happening on that journey. I have found some tools, because obviously I cannot keep waiting for doctors to be available to see me to get some help. So I have to find ways to get help that are in my financial budget, and in my time budget. So I have found a few things that are helping me currently. The first week after that appointment was horrible. I beat myself up. I still am beating myself up because it made me feel like a raving idiot. That whole appointment was horrible. It only made me feel worse. It only made me feel more stupid, which is what triggers my bouts of depression. So I don't even like the word triggers, but it is. It's what my inner voice tells me. And if I can't shut it up fast enough, it gets mean really quick. So it was not good. Not good. But I still have hope, and God is good, and he's going to get me to the right doctors at the right time, people who are going to listen to me and who are going to be able to diagnose what's really going on and help me make some lifestyle changes that will benefit me in a way that I can keep up with. Because that's the main, one of the hardest things with my life right now is I know a lot of what I should be doing as far as taking care of my health. Eat veggies, drink water, walk, work out, take time to meditate, have your quiet time, prayer, gratitude, all of those things. But I have no idea how to fit those things into my life when it feels like I'm totally 100% putting out tiny fires all along the way. And then by the end of the day, I'm like, I didn't do any of the things I needed to do for my own health because there were these tiny fires, because I can only react and respond to what's urgent. And I think that's something that I need help with. I need some kind of help with, and I can't find it yet, but I'm not giving up. I will keep searching. So there's that long talk about the doctor's appointment I promised you guys I would have. So let's get back to the writing, because that was just not fun. Not fun at all. Let me know what has helped you. If you feel like you suffer from ADHD, if you feel like you suffer from depression, let me know what it is has helped you. I am totally willing to try almost anything to get myself back to my normal. And my normal will probably always have a bit of depression in it. It'll always have a bit of anxiety in it. And it'll probably always have whatever this ADHD, whatever this thing is. I am not trying to run away from it. I just want to know how to manage it. All right, let's get to the words. Yay, I got some actual words down that time. Yay, it's exciting. Oh, I'm just about to come up to the last scene with the raven, the big baddie scene. And those scenes usually write pretty quickly. But they're also, oh, hello. They're also the scenes. See, look at this. Something is playing. Hang on. There we go. They're also the scenes that what the heck is wrong with me? Why can't I stop peeling that wax off? Anyway, sorry about that. They're also the scenes where I start realizing uh, what I've left out. You know, I've done really good at setting the scenes and moving characters along, but I realize, oops, that doesn't make sense unless this happens, which is fine. So normally what I do is I'll just finish the story. What's been hard for me this time is all the little things in my head are going off and going, no, go back, fix it right now. And I'm like, shut up. I just have to get the words down. Because to me, once I wrap up my final draft, there's a sense of relief that just floods over me once I've finished it, even if it's horribly imperfect, which it always is. A sense of relief comes over me, and I can actually think a lot more clearly about the story, even if I dig into it right away. Like if I hit, I don't usually type the end, but if I typed the end, my body like just totally relaxes. My brain goes, oh, we did it. And I like have this little celebration moment. And even if I'm still sitting at my computer and I go back in and start doing some edits really quick, I think a lot more clearly after I've gotten the end handled. So I just have to remind myself that, Sarah, don't be sidetracked like you always are. Jump in, finish the ending you want to happen, which might not match up with the story yet because you need to go and drizzle some stuff throughout the story. But yeah, so that's what I'm attempting to do. I'm attempting just to get that done, and I can fix that later. Which I don't like fixing it either. It's really bad. I love writing the stories. There's some authors out there on YouTube, which I love, and I love watching them. And if you are a YouTuber who, an author tuber or whatever, you write and you're on YouTube and you've ever shown videos of how you do things or your thought process or writing sprints, thank you. They feed me, they help me. I've gotten some really good ideas from them, but also they just make me feel like I'm not so alone in this world, and in the writing world, and I can, I have friends beside me, and that helps. But also I can see your techniques and play with them and realize they're not for me, or this part is for me. And then I can stop, I don't judging myself for not doing it the same way as everybody else. I am much more relaxed at judging myself than I used to be, but it's still there. It still happens. So anything that you guys have put out that have helped me overcome that, I'm really grateful for. Anyhow, so there are some writers out there, squirrel, that can like use note cards or other things like Scrivener or whatever, and they can plot out scenes like, this scene is going to have the yellow jacket and it's going to blow into the wind, and it over here is this scene over here, and that ties in the yellow jacket later. And they can write these scenes out of order. I cannot do that. There are times where I have written the very end of a story before I've written anything else, and I have to be really careful because it cannot end the mystery. If it ends the mystery, my brain shuts off. It's like, okay, I already know what happens. I discover the story as I'm writing, which feels a lot like watching a mini series, except for it's really frustrating because, Netflix hasn't uploaded the next episode yet, and I have to get my brain to do it. Anyway, so yeah, distractibility. I can't write the end of the mystery. I can write the wrap up at the very end between characters, but I cannot write the end of the mystery, or I will not feel like writing it ever again. I have a whole sci-fi series, two actually, that my heart truly wants to write. It's in love with these ideas. It's been marinating on these ideas for decades, probably. And I unfortunately wrote the ending, and I cannot motivate myself to go back and write the rest because it's like the story is already unfolded. I already know what happens. Sure, I can revisit it, but I don't need to because I know what happens, which bites. Even though as I'm writing, I do know, like when I'm writing my mystery, I do know who the murderers are most of the time. Book one of Penny, I didn't know. But anyway, I usually know who the murderer is. I don't know the journey it's going to take to get there. I don't really plot like outline. I more brainstorm. So I'm brainstorming and I have these crazy mind maps all over the place. And I know that this has to happen to get to this. And so I'll just write that down, and it doesn't look like you would consider outlining. It's very gnarly and jumpy aroundy. Let's make up words. And but I understand it and it helps me. And if I go through, like I have taken some plotting courses, many plotting courses, because you never know what nuggets are really going to help you. And sometimes something somebody does is really going to help your process. You're just not going to use the whole thing. So I've done, I love watching Heart Breathing's Plot Your Novel playlist. It inspires me. I don't follow it. It inspires me. Her worksheet that she has printed out, I think it's episode 1. I want to say it's episode 2 in the playlist. She does do it for episode 1, but then she changes books. And episode 2 is the best one of that playlist, in my opinion. I do write that out if I'm stuck. And I do write that out over and over again for other characters. Like I think Penny has like 7 of these, 8 of these that I've written out over and over again, because the process of writing them out inspires me and encourages me and gets me thinking back into Penny's world. But I seldom use them. I have tried plotting that way and it's fun. I like the plotting process, but my brain, by the time I'm on like page 2, is like, get into it, start writing it now or you'll lose it. And I'm like, okay, I will, because I can't focus long enough or recall it. In fact, I'm one of those people that if I have a good idea while I'm asleep, yeah, I think I'm actually asleep sometimes. I'll roll over, and if there's not a Post-it and a pen right there, I like scrawl it into my arm with my nail, like not bloody, but like dry skin. And I'll just try to write like the first letter of each thought, like Penny P needs in to call Titus or something, hoping I'll remember. And most of the time I don't, because I'll have brilliant ideas and they just flood away. And I just, hopefully, I trust that each time a new idea comes, it's going to be better than the first one. And again, I hold on to my faith a lot about that. Like, okay, if this was something that really needed to happen in this story, I don't think God would let me get rid of it. He would bring it back around some way, sometime, maybe for a different even novel. But I don't believe I could lose it completely. I hold on to that because it's just not fair. If you're falling, not like life is fair, but if you're falling asleep and you can't sleep, like I don't sleep very well at all. I either just like kind of pass out to where the world does not exist to me, which is scary because literally people can be talking to me like right here and I don't know they're there. Or my mind is going, like I know everything that's happening around me, even though it feels like I'm asleep. I know everything that's happening around me. I know the conversations that's happened. I know who's coming in and out of the room. Yeah. And my stories will play out that way. That's really hard because if your body will not let you wake up to write it down, it's not going to work. So anyway, again, see why I'm going to the doctor. I love plotting, but if I plot the very end of the story, I will not write it. That's what's going on. So I have to get through the story. I have to continue discovering the ending actually write the ending, and then I can go back and plug up all the holes, of which there are always many. And I'm eternally grateful to beta readers and to editors who help me spot them, because I can't always see them, because I see the full story in my head. It plays out like a movie in my brain, and I can't see the holes because I've automatically filled them in. Yeah, well, you should have known she was wearing boots. Yeah, that's how she climbed the mountain. I told you. Oh, wait, I didn't tell you. I just saw her wearing these crampons. And what are those crampons? Which one goes on your head? Which one goes on your feet? Anyway, let's do one more sprint since I've made you listen to me ramble. Hopefully you are feeling more than welcome skipping through my ramblings and hitting the chapter and just going on to again, with my brain, the sprints, if you need to do that. It's been a long time since I've been live, obviously. And yeah, again, with my brain. I was going to show you my puppy because you guys followed her through the NaNoWriMo vlogs, Camp NaNoWriMo vlogs, but she is outside with my son right now, and I really don't want to call her in. She's huge and lovingly destructive, cute, but you can't get a whole lot done when she's around. And again, I have turned off my timer. I've taken away my timer. So we're just going to go old school. I'm going to make a timer here on my phone. Can you guys hear my chickens outside? Setting a 7-minute timer on my phone. And I'm just going to hit the button. And I will just come on saying beep, beep, beep when it's over. All right. So I'm going to mute myself, get to writing. All right, so that's the last sprint that I'm going to do on here with you guys for the day. Hopefully you enjoyed this really weird, sporadic, chatty, short sprints where I talked way too much about life, but I don't know. Sometimes our stories, not just our fictional ones, but our life stories are there to share because along the way, you never know who you're going to meet, who's going to go, me too, and really needed to hear your story, no matter how boring you might think it is or how crazy you think it is. We all have a story to share with one another that can help encourage and uplift each other. So maybe my weirdness did that for you today. I hope so. I hope I was encouraging. Tell me how you did with your writing. Let me know anything. I just like to talk to you guys in chat, so just tell me whatever. I have been considering asking other writer moms or artist moms to come on and do these sprints with me so we can have a little bit of banter back and forth. If you think that's a good idea, let me know. If you know a writer mom, this can be somebody who does blogs, somebody who writes fiction, nonfiction. I don't really care. They don't have to be published. They could just be a writer mom who loves to write, who would like some companionship doing so. That's not like, having to go to Starbucks and sit down and have a coffee with somebody. They just like to sit for a couple hours sprinting with me. I would love to make that happen. Let me know if you have any suggestions for writer moms that I should ask, or if you are a writer mom and you'd like to talk to me about maybe coming on and doing a live sprint with me like this. It would be nice. I think it'd be fun to chat with you and to share our stories together. Anyway, you guys go on and have a good day. God bless you and right on. Bye.